obesity is becoming a real problem in the world, and the real problem with obesity is not, of course, a matter of aesthetics, but it's a matter of the pathological consequences that it causes, from cardiovascular to pulmonary to even cancer. Now, we know that obesity is accompanied by deep changes in our body, and one of the things that changes quite dramatically during obesity and also during overweight is the composition of a system of microbes that has co-evolved with us, and is known as the microbiome. Most people actually know this like the intestinal flora, but microbiome is not only present in the intestine, it's also present in many other places. Now, the microbiome is very important because it helps our immune function, it regulates the metabolism, and is responsible apparently of some of these pathological consequences that obesity has on our body. How does it that this role? It plays this role because the composition between the different types of microbes that are bacteria, but also viruses and yeasts present in our intestine, for example, and we're talking about trillions of these cells, can change not only with age, not only with stress, but also following different diets, or when one has actually very bad eating habits. And this in turn contributes to some of the consequences that we know happen in obesity, such as, for example, accumulation of fat in the wrong organs, the lack of insulin sensitivity, which is something that regulates our sugars, but also our lipid metabolisms. And eventually this can cause a general systemic inflammation in the body, which can contribute to atherosclerosis and cardiovascular disorders. Now, another system made this time not of bacteria, but of chemical signals is also present in our body. It doesn't come from the microbiome, but it's also been co-evolved with our evolution, with our status as human beings. And this is a system that is known as the endocannabinoid system. I don't want to go into details, but this system also is very important in regulating our homeostasis, in regulating the status quo of our organisms. But it also, like the microbiome, gets disrupted during obesity. So the question and the mission of this chair was to try to understand how these changes in this endocannabinoid system, in this system of chemical signals, is responsible, and to what extent is responsible of the changes of the microbiome, and vice versa. What are the changes in the microbiome that are necessary to see changes in the endocannabinoid system that then lead to those cardiovascular complications, to those inflammatory processes that are typical of obesity. So we shall work on that. We shall try to identify from a molecular point of view those proteins, those small chemicals that are produced by the microbiome, to see whether they can be used as medicines. And we shall also give a lot of importance to the nutritional aspects, because both the microbiome and the endocannabinoid system are very strongly influenced by the type of food we eat and by the nutritional life that we have. So we shall also see whether we can use nutritional strategies to change either the microbiome or the endocannabinoid system, and to make the microbiome work better, and to restore, to mend the disruptions that have been brought about by obesity. So we hope we'll be able to do that, and I'm very grateful to the University of Laval for giving me this opportunity to investigate this multidisciplinary, exciting aspect of our physiology that it has been a little bit neglected over the last 20 years, and I think it's very important to understand our physiology and how it gets disrupted during obesity. Thank you. I am Vincenzo Di Marzo. I'm currently working at the National Research Council of Italy, where I direct the Institute of Biomolecular Chemistry, and I will be starting as the director of the Chair of Excellence on the axis on the microbiome and the endocannabinoidome in metabolic health, starting next year.